Every conversation in AI right now has the same subplot: who's got the fastest chip, whose model is top of the leaderboard, and whose token price just dropped another 40%. And that's fun, but I think that's the wrong story. Because while everybody argues about the engine, the companies I've witnessed actually shipping AI at scale have figured out something a little quieter. The engine is actually not the bottleneck, the transmission is. Here's how you know. AI spending on AI tokens is up roughly 13 times since January of last year. That's not 13%, that's 13 times. At least that's what RAM's own transaction data tells us. And the heaviest spenders are watching their costs jump 50% or more in 1 out of every 4 months. And that's not a rounding error in a budget. That's an entirely new cost category that no finance team was ever able to build in the forecast previously. Now, there's a line from retail about 100 years old. Half of the money I spend on advertising is wasted. The trouble is I just don't know which half. Here it's the same problem, maybe different century, different technology. Because here's what most companies don't know about their own spend. Only about 5% of your AI workload actually needs an expensive model. The hard stuff, legal synthesis, complex architecture decisions, another 30% needs a solid mid-tier model. And the remaining 65%, frankly, things like classification, extraction, routing, that works with a cheap, lightweight, open weight model. The price gap between the top tier and the bottom tier is roughly 150 to 1. So when you send a simple classification job to a frontier model, you're taking the Ferrari to the grocery store. Gets you there, but you just paid supercar money to get a gallon of milk. One quick thing while we're here, because almost everybody gets this wrong: Llama, Qwen, Kimi, GLM, those are not open source, they're open weight. That means you get the parameters, but you do not get the training data. And that matters because you can't audit what you can't see. That's a governance problem, not a semantics problem. I actually built a table on this, 19 models sorted by what's actually open and what just markets itself that way. I'm not going to read you a 19-row table on a podcast. It's in the blog and the link is in the description. And none of this gets simpler from here, by the way, because no real company runs on one model. Mainframe doing core transactions, 3 clouds, nobody's consolidating, edge for latency, open models, self-hosted for costs, and controlled APIs for a handful of things that are actually needed by the organization. And this is not a mess that gets cleaned up. This is the permanent operating condition. This is what, if you remember, I used to call the 50 shades of hybrid. What this means is that the thing that's actually hard isn't the model, it's the layer above it, the control plane, that decides what runs where at what cost under what rules. So here's your homework. One simple question. Pull up your AI spend and ask, can you tell me right now which tasks are running on which model, at what cost, under what governance, and why? If that answer takes more than one meeting to assemble, that's something you gotta drill into for a better AI strategy. You've got a pile of expensive experiments that happen to share one budget line. Now, the full breakdown of all these concepts is on my blog, the 3-tier cost chart, the 4 structural reasons open models are cheaper, and the control plane diagram that shows you what the control plane really needs to be about. That's all at Nobody Cares. The URL is carcast.substack.com. That's it for this week. I'm Bruno Ziza, and thank you for listening.